With 7 Ripple partnerships, if those banks decided to bring their value on chain on the XRP ledger using today's circulating supply, we would be looking at $1,300 per XRP token with 57 billion circulating. So I want to go through which banks these are. And remember, this is just 7 partnerships. We're not talking about the hundreds else out there that Ripple does have. So let's just go into this. So you're going to know a lot of these partnerships, guys, but going through the information like this, it might help you better understand what makes me excited when I look at this, okay? So using Bank of America first, they have about $2.5 trillion under assets at the bank, but they also have $7.8 trillion in cash under management. And as we understand, as cash goes on chain, digital, this value is going to move from, the bank accounts at 7.8 trillion, that 7.8 trillion will eventually be on the blockchain, because Bank of America will want to be able to move that money instantaneously to wherever they want, either it's cross-border or domestic. That will be instant using something like Ripple and XRP. So you can see here, this is over $10 trillion just Bank of America has alone. And I understand that stocks, bonds, derivatives will be coming on chain. And now if these certain banks hold these assets for their clients, they are still going to need a good custody provider to secure those assets. Somebody like Medico, right? That is what they do, and they're best in class technology. That is why Ripple picked them up. They understood that they were missing a hole in their business, and that was custody. All right, let me keep going here. So we do know that Bank of America is a huge partner. This is just verifying all the information, right? Some people are going to say, well, Bank of America is not partnered with Ripple. I just want to show a little information to show you that is true.
I'm going to take you through my notes from the day. It's quite loud in here, so I apologize. First thing is, I met with Brad Garlinghouse face-to-face, and Brad was so confident. He's got an air of confidence about him that's unbelievable. I met Brad first in 2019 back in Singapore, and he's even more confident today than he was back then. He made it clear that they're ready to settle with the SEC as long as they can get clarity on XRP. I asked him if American companies were waiting on the sidelines to jump in the game once clarity happens, and he said absolutely. And he specifically said Bank of America.
All right, and he specifically said Bank of America, all right? We also have this clip here.
There's still 4,000 banks, so it's not like there's...
This is the CEO of Bank of America. I'm not going to play the whole clip, but there's something he says in here that's widely and super important to what we're trying to do here in this video.
Considering the disaggregation industry.
Let me ask you a separate question, and Becky's got one back in Washington, but on crypto. We just had Brian Armstrong sitting in the seat that you were in, and obviously there's a lot of excitement about crypto. The banking business, for the most part, has stayed away from crypto. Given President Trump's full-throated support for crypto, do you imagine Bank of America is going to be full-on in the crypto business if we have this conversation 12 months, 24 months from now?
I'd separate out this sort of crypto versus stable assets and digital movement of money, because we already move the vast majority of our money digitally. Our consumers do, our companies do. And so the question is, what's the business practice that you have to move another type of currency? So if the rules come in and make it a real thing that you can actually do business with, you will find that the banking system will come in hard on the transactional side of it, non-anonymous, transactional, verified, et cetera, because we have to, because it's just another way our customers are going to order.
The other thing we're talking about...
There it is, right? The CEO of Bank of America is admitting that once the rules and the regulation is clear from the United States government, that, hey, we can go in and use these assets and not have to worry about the SEC or some other regulator coming after us. If you give us in writing that permission, the banks will move in and start using it for transaction and settlement, right? Exactly what we knew to be true. Now you have the CEO of Bank of America saying exactly what we want to hear, right? They're going to come in. They're going to come in hard. All right. All right. So a few other things here, right? I keep saying right. I do apologize. Bank of America has multiple patents with XRP and Ripple in them, right? Multiple. So if you don't think Bank of America is getting geared up to use one of the best technologies for settlement on the planet right now, you're sadly mistaken. Bank of America is going to come in hard. You also have Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo has 1.7 trillion under management. It also talks a little bit about Wells Fargo generated, 19 billion in income, February, the market cap of Wells Fargo is $265 billion. So a little bit less money. But in fact, Wells Fargo is a Ripple partner. You got Bank of America, Santander, UniCredit, Standard Chartered, Westpac, and Royal Bank of Canada. I didn't even use most of these banks in this assessment. I didn't. So banks including Merrill Lynch. Oh, I should have used Merrill Lynch too, because that's part of Bank of America. Santander, UniCredit, Standard Chartered, Westpac, Royal Bank of Canada, right? All involved here. Let me just show you this next thing here. We got Swift. This is on Swift site talking about Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is looking at the area using Ripple, right? You also have this. Popular banks like Wells Fargo uses FedNow soon. Wells Fargo is looking at Ripple blockchain to allow fiat and crypto exit in parallel. So here's just a little bit more connecting those dots here. I'm not going to go through it too much, but you kind of get it. Bank of America, Wells Fargo is getting ready. Here's also a clip.
FinTech.
This is from only a few days ago. I'm glad I waited to do this. I've been putting this thing together for some time now. This is 4 days. Daniel Avila, former Citi and Bank of America at Wells Fargo Global Remittance VP, commented on Ripple rails and crypto. Here we go.
Next, should they integrate with existing local payment infrastructure or start a new rail? Right? That's the timeless, basically a closed loop or an open loop system. And I think there's probably a lot of differing opinions on that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that was the promise of blockchain companies like Ripple, right? That was what they were aiming to do when they started. And because of the times with crypto last year, I think things kind of slowed down for those types of efforts. But there's still a greenfield opportunity for fintechs to get into that space. And I don't think there is a clear lead right now. There's a significant opportunity. It'll take deep pockets and probably a bit of engagement between banks and large corporates to make the push and make the effort to make it happen.
Fintechs
Make the push and make it happen. We know it's coming. Also, you have BNP Paribas. Under management, they have about 1.34 trillion euros. And 2024 breakdown 616 billion in asset management and real estate. So they have just a big portfolio here. They almost have $456 billion in wealth management, and they have insurance $272 billion. We also know that BNP Paribas is in fact a Ripple partner. They have been for some time here, and this is just some documentation, some different connections. Here's more stuff. BNP Paribas partners with Earthport, which is Ripple. Right? Same company that Visa went and bought out because they're using the technology. And then Ripple partner BNP Paribas to launch EFX trading engine in Singapore. That was the connection there. So I just wanted to show you that. Going a little bit deeper here, we also have BNY Mellon. I did a video on this. Actually, a lot of you watched it. A lot of you really liked that one. It almost had 100,000 views this month. They actually have a whopping $52.1 trillion as of September 2024. BNY Mellon is a custodian for other banks, right? So BNY Mellon, what they do very well, and they've done it for a very long time, is the custody of different types of securities and other assets for other banks. And so a lot of banks trust it. I mean, a lot of money's here. Imagine like the total amount stocks, bonds, derivatives in the public markets is about 1.4 quadrillion. So to see like 1/28th of that entire value right here is pretty insane. That's 1/28th, right? Yeah. If it was 100 million, it'd be 14, right? I split it in half. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Guys, if you haven't hit like on the video, please do. I spend so much time on some of this stuff. I have to think out the idea. I have to start researching. It takes me time. So if you get value, please hit like. I really appreciate you. All right. And then here is the connection more with BNY Mellon. The era of tokenized assets begins. BNY Mellon, the world's largest custodian bank, reports that 97% of asset managers believe tokenization will revolutionize finance. This is going to happen. If you own the right technology that this value is going to be transacted on, that is your future. Understand the technologies, understand where this is going, because if you position yourself right now, right, even if you have a 500 XRP, if you have a million XRP, it doesn't matter. You're positioned, you're ready for what's to come. How long this will take, we don't know, right? We still need regulation, right? We still need clear rules of the road for banks, from like the FDIC and other types of board of governors around, banking and fintech. Once this is all ready to go, man, it's going to be crazy.
For XRP or for Ripple, tokenized assets are going to be the vehicle that this is going to, I think, transact around. And if you follow where the money is going, you probably would agree. Here's a clip to talk about that.
BNY Mellon is the world's largest custodial bank. They're the bank that your banks bank with. And they did a study of institutional asset managers to get their opinions on what they think about this space. And that report found that 97% of asset managers believe that tokenization will revolutionize the asset management industry. The ones with more than $1 trillion, basically the largest asset managers, 100% of them are interested in this space. So I don't know about you, but I've always been told, follow the money.
Follow the money. That is exactly right. All right, we got a little bit more to go through here, guys. Also, here is Ripple partner BNY Mellon, Robin Van, CEO, $50 trillion. BNY Mellon believes digital assets offer a fresh, innovative technology, potentially vital to the financial system over the next 10 to 20 years.
You sounded optimistic about crypto when we talked. Are you more optimistic now based on who the Trump administration is? We may have a crypto czar now. We seem like crypto regulations will be looser. And does BNY want to play a role in the community?
Well, we've said this for the past couple of years, and we've been consistent, and we haven't changed our point of view on this, which is digital assets represent a new, interesting, innovative technology, which we think could be important to the financial system over the course of the next 10, 20 years. Exactly the twists and turns along the way, we'll have to see. But we've been investing. We've got the ability to custody crypto assets, digital assets, but also we're looking into the interesting smart contracts, ledger capabilities that the underlying technologies represent. And so we think there's an interesting future here, but AI as well. Remember, it's not just about digital assets. It's about how does technology get applied to make the financial system better, more agile, more capable, and able to grow. And AI is going to be an important part of that story.
All right. It's great to hear the founders and CEOs of some of these just massive banks and financial institutions coming out and saying, yeah, crypto is the future, right? DLT, distributed ledger, that's where all of this is going. And if you think that it's not, I think you need to just take a little bit more time to really understand the current moment that we are in. It's impactful, it's powerful, right? A few good decisions today could lead to many happy years ahead for you, right? Money doesn't solve everything, but it solves a lot, right? Have a nice place to stay, the car you want, you could travel, you could spend time with your family, you can help other people in your community. All right. Confidential presentation from BNY Mellon, the world's largest custodian of assets, 48 trillion under management. It says illustration of blockchain in financial services virtual space highlights Ripple and Stellar as special infrastructure on base protocols. That is down here in the juicy bottom. All right. We also have Medico acquisition banks can now give their customers access to crypto products via Ripple's custody service. Boom. These banks are going to want to offer crypto to their customers. But the banks probably don't want to hold that crypto, right? It's, that is a risk for the bank if something should happen. So they're going to go with a custodian provider like Medico to do that. Already banks like Citi, HSBC, BNP Paribas, and others are using the platform, right? What are we saying here? The value, securities, right? The cash, all moving to blockchain. If these guys are using Medico, is that value going to be on the XRP ledger? Trying to make some of those connections in your head here. As of September 2024, HSBC has approximately $3 trillion under assets and management. We know HSBC adoption of Medico platform could drive interest in the XRP ledger. We know that HSBC understands the shockwave this will create. HSBC just fired the smoking gun. The seventh largest bank in the world with $2.9 trillion in assets said that they are taking on crypto through Ripple and Medico. Right? Ripple and Medico. All right. Here you go. Visa has published their report on their collaboration with HSBC and their tokenized deposits with 2 use cases, real estate and Visa payments. Here's another connection into all of this. Visa, HSBC, Ripple custody. And then we did talk about that already. All right, so here we go. Citigroup. Citigroup has $2.4 trillion under management. I'd imagine they have a few $1 trillion in cash too, but that's not giving us that information here. Citibank reveals it is the in-city integrated digital assets platform to enable fast adoption of innovation and compliance with all these regulatory around the world. Citi uses Ripple custody, aka Medico. Right here is in Medico's or Citi's website, they actually praise and talk about Medico. The same exact Citi is partnered with Medico to provide digital asset custody, which was required by Ripple in 2023. Right? They have $2.9 trillion assets under management. If they are bringing that asset on chain on Medico, you see where I'm getting here. You see where we're going with this. All right. A little bit more here for you. Citi considers launching Bitcoin and crypto custody services. Who do you think they're going to launch that with? Okay. Ripple, Citi, Medico. We did talk about that. And then here's just more information backing up what we have just been discussing. There's also Mitsubishi UFG Financial Group, also known as MUFG. They have about $2.9 trillion assets under management. They also have $1 trillion assets under administration. It does look like this is one of the biggest banks in Japan. And yes, in fact, they are a Ripple partner, utilizing Ripple payments, Ripple Global, right? More of the same. Mitsubishi and Ripple will create a cross-border payment service for the Brazilian market. And then, yes, these Japanese mega banks, including PAX, MUFG, SMBC, and Mizuho, all using Ripple. Okay, I didn't even include a lot of these partnerships, right? The only one we talked about is MUFG, Citi, HSBC, BNY Mellon. We have BNB Paribas. We have Wells Fargo. And we have Bank of America. That's all we used. And that's $76.3 trillion in value if you add up everything. All right. Now, I wanted to know, using the current circulating supply of XRP, if $76.3 trillion in value comes onto the XRP ledger, how much would it be per XRP token? The price is $1,300, $1,320 is the price. Okay. Also, if we have banks and central banks starting to buy XRP to hold it long term, that is going to reduce circulating supply. We also have staking and liquid staking coming, or that is here through Doppler Finance on the XRP ledger. That will also reduce circulating supply. Over the next few years, there's going to be other use cases that there is going to be built out to reduce that circulating supply even more. Now, if we're able to use the same information above, 76.3 trillion, and if we are able to just bring the entire circulating supply from 57 billion to 20 billion circulating, how much do you think it is per XRP? Well, I got that information for you. $3,800.15. Crazy stuff, right? What happens if only 5% is circulating and we added the 76.3 million? Well, now we're looking at a $15,000 XRP per token. This is 7 banks and partnerships that Ripple has. There are hundreds of others. Now, if we know that all of these banks are coming on to use blockchain and they're partnered with Ripple and they're going to be partnered with Medico, where do you think this is going? Right? Is 76 trillion a low number over the next maybe few decades? I think it is. The real question is, how quickly can they move this value on chain? Is it going to be a flip of the switch? Is it going to be a slow drip and then a fast burn? We don't know. But position yourself wisely. Next few years could change your life forever. I'll see you next time, guys. If you got anything out of this, please hit like. If you want to come and study under me, if you like the value that I provide, if you want to join my community, there's a link down in the description for Kryptonaires. You can use code BULLRUN to get half off the first month. We also have a 5-day free trial. Come in, hang out. We are talking about all kinds of different crypto projects, and there's a lot of fun. And I'm in there all the time. So if you want to talk to me, have a full conversation, whatever it is, that's the way to do it. I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Aloha.